Good morning. My name is Raul Camden. Uh, in this video, I will show you how we can develop an interactive Power BI report dashboard. So, in my previous video, I already introduced myself. As you can see uh, on the screen, so this is my badge. So please uh, go and watch the video I already create regarding the Always on Hireability Go project, where you can see how I've created the VM machine from scratch and install the SQL Server, and finally configure the Always on Hireability Go. You can also see my demo regarding the database mirroring and the log shipping. So today, uh, I'm gonna be the person who gonna lead this video and show you how we can create a handsome, interactive Power BI dashboard report. So let us suppose I am working for the Coca-Cola organization or company, and someone in the financial department, it could be a lady's naming Orion, it could be a man naming Idris, and they ask me or they ask us to implementing or maybe develop or create some Power BI dashboard report for Coca-Cola sell. And the reason they want this report to be implementing is because they want to consume uh, the data, and they want to interpret that data and make a better decision for their sale. So how we can approach this project? The first thing we have to do is, first of all, if we do not have more information about the report or about the rows data set, what we have to do, we need to go back to the client, we need to go back to the business user, we need to go back to our manager or maybe team leader to gathering the information. As we get all those information, we can put in place our documentation place. So things to consider, for example, we can say, okay, what type of the business problem are you trying to solve, right? This is something we have to go through and trying to think and trying to bring our idea. So that's why working effectively in a team environment requiring tact, passion, and a willingness to work in concert with other colleagues. So that's why we get into the right mindset. We agree to agree, and then also be respectful of each other and recognize the contribution of other as well is so important. And documentation plan is also important. So what I'm going to try to show you today, I'm going to trying to show you how we can implementing the report. So, je vais un petit peu m'expliquer en français. Je m'appelle Raoul Kam. Comme vous pouvez le voir sur l'écran, je me suis déjà présenté sur mes vidéos précédentes lorsque j'ai eu à réaliser des projets sur Always on High Availability from Scratch. Et sur cette démo précédente que j'ai créée, euh, vous pouvez justement voir comment créer une machine virtuelle from scratch et comment joindre ces machines virtuelles sur un domaine. Et après, vous pouvez aussi voir comment installer SQL Server et, et aussi comment configurer Always on High Availability Group. Et dans mes démos précédentes, vous pouvez aussi voir comment j'ai eu à configurer tout ce qui est database mirroring for the disaster recovering et tout ce qui est log shipping aussi. Alors aujourd'hui, nous allons parler d'un projet en Power BI. Donc, Power BI, c'est une application qui est très très puissante parce qu'elle nous permet de collecter des données, de transformer ces données-là aussi et de créer des rapports, rapports visualization qui va permettre justement aux clients ou aux end users de mieux interpréter ces données et de prendre des meilleures décisions si possible. Ça peut être les décisions sur des ventes. Et imaginez peut-être par exemple, je travaille pour Coca-Cola et gère euh, peut-être un collègue au département des finances qui voudrait justement qu'on mette en place un rapport de tableau de bord de Coca-Cola, des ventes de Coca-Cola. Alors pour éventuellement approcher ce projet, il y a d'abord des informations. Les informations sont très importantes. Lorsque vous avez peut-être pas plus, vous n'avez pas des informations, alors il faudra justement se rapprocher peut-être vers votre manager ou peut-être vers votre team leader ou peut-être vers le client et prendre et récolter les informations afin de vous mettre, afin d'implémenter ce rapport. Il y a aussi ce qu'on appelle la documentation parce que la documentation est très importante. Ça vous permet aussi d'organiser votre plan de travail. Bon, alors, euh, nous allons commencer. Donc, je vais vous expliquer un petit peu ce qu'il faut faire. Donc, first of all, so if you do not have a Power BI in your local uh, laptop or physical machine, what you have to do, you need to go uh, to internet and then trying to download the Power BI. So the Power BI desktop is a free version. So right, you can also have the Power BI services, which is the cloud platform, right? Where we can where the user can go online and and then visualize the report and then so on. So and then to download the Power BI desktop, you need to check the system requirement, such as the operating system. It could be the Windows 10. This is compatible with Power BI. My physical machine is a Windows 11, so yes, I already installed that Power BI. And then also imagine so the data come maybe from the SQL server. So this is one of the SQL server I already installed in my physical machine as well. So for me, that is okay. So let us say that sometime uh, the data or the rows data can come from different uh, source system, right? The data can come from the text file, CSV file, Excel file, or folder as well, or share folder network as well. The data can also come from the CRM system, right? Customer relationship management, right? The data can come from there as well. And one of the CRM I know is Salesforce. I think Salesforce is one of the powerful CRM as well. So, and the data can come from there. So the data can also come from CRM, Microsoft, like Microsoft Dynamic 365. They can also come from one of the ERP system, enterprise resource planning. It could be a Momentum ERP system. It could be the Sage. It could be the SAP. It could be the Oracle NetSuite ERP system as well. And then, yes, so first of all, we need to pay attention for from where the data come from, right? And then as soon you got that target or the source data, that's fine. This is where you're going to collect your data. You're going to extract your data. We can use maybe the SSIS, the integration services in the SQL Server to uh, collect the data. Like for example, use the ETL, so extract, transform, and load. We can also use in the modern data warehouse. We can also use like data factory in Microsoft Azure to collect the data or to inject the data from the source system. So, and with the Power BI, you can also collect that data by connecting to the source system, right? So I'm going to try to show you right now. So imagine you have your data and your data is reside into the Salesforce, and I already have some installation of the SQL Server in my physical, based on my physical machine. So in order so let me come here. So for example, I'm going to show you, for example, if you go here and go here, this is one of my Salesforce browser connection. So if I click here, I can see, yeah, let me log in and see here Salesforce and see, yeah, and then this is my connection for the Salesforce. So I click here, I'll connect to the Salesforce, right? So this is, I'll just show you, yeah, we can have the Salesforce department as well. So, and then also we can integrate the SQL Server and the Salesforce. In order to integrate the SQL Server with Salesforce, we need to go online and download thing. We need to go online and download not this one, integration runtime for the data factory, Microsoft Azure data factory. So let me show you the Salesforce. Yeah, we need to go online in the internet and download the Diva ODBC Salesforce. And once that has been downloaded, you need to install. And once that has been installed, you need to go here and search for the ODBC 64-bit and click here and create a connection. For example, this one, this, create a connection, and that will allow you to go to the SQL server, especially here in the linking server, and create a linking server. And once you create that linking server, that will allow you to connect with the Salesforce database and inject the data. Or maybe you have already one database here, which is the Salesforce, where the data are going to come from. So for example, I already download this CSV, text file in the, I already download the text file for the Coca-Cola cell. So let me show you. So if you go here, if you go here, our project, Power BI, and then this, I'm going to open this. So this is the data set I will use to create a Power BI dashboard or report. Uh, so, so this is the column, the field. So retailer ID, invoice date, region, state, city, beverage brands. In French, beverage branch mean la marque des boissons. Ça, c'est la marque des boissons. And we have date to deliver, delivering company, price per unit. unit sold, total sale, operating profit, and operating margin. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open Power BI. So already here, click here. So this is my Power BI. So I can click here, I can click here to close, I can get to start. I'm going to click here to close. So you can come here, as you can see, if you click here, that will bring you to where the data is resides. So, and then also you can click here and go to more, and you can see all the source system. So you have a lot folder, SQL, Access database, SQL Server, Analysis Services database, Informix, IBM Informix, and so on. So right, you can go here, you see the database, you can go here. This is the new, yes, this is the Microsoft Fabric. Wow, this is so powerful. This is a new thing I want to learn as well. But this is not what I'm going to show you today. So this is for Microsoft Azure. You can see Azure Synapse Analytics SQL, Azure SQL database, Azure Block Storage. You also have the Azure Analysis Services database as well. You can see Azure Databricks for compute. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this because I don't want to collect the data from this Excel file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this and then go back to the SQL Server here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one database here just to show you. Create database, Salesforce or CRM, Salesforce, right? And then execute and then refresh for the best practice. And this is my CRM Salesforce. Inside the CRM Salesforce, I'm going to change because this is still in the master. Use CRM Salesforce, and then go, and then that has been changed now. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create one schema, right? Create schema CRM, and then go. So if you expand this database and go to the security, go to the schema, there's not a CRM schema. Because say okay, create the schema, and then refresh the schema here for the best practice, and then you have your CRM. Then what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to close this one. I'm going to right click, go to the task, import data, and then click next. Let me come here, go here, and choose this one, and then select the file, get this file, click next. And then here now, what I'm going to do, say okay, select, because I want the instance name or the server name, and then execute, copy this, and then come here, come back here, and then down. I already have it here. I can also paste it here. Salesforce CRM, Recognize. Okay, that's fine. Click next, next. And then now here, I'm going to change the schema name. So pay attention for the title, CRM, and then say, okay, sell Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, right? You can click edit mapping, it's fine. And then previous data, it's fine. And then close, next, next, finish. So, and then close, refresh the table. And as you can see, I have my sell Coca-Cola table. So this is where the data will come from. So now I'm going to close this, and say, okay, select, it's fine, how many rows, and double check how many rows we have, select, count, and then we can put some alias total of rows, right? And then say from, then we can copy this, copy and paste here, then we have 30,744 rows. Donc, nous avons 3744 lignes. So now what I'm going to do, so if you can select here, you can select again, and then we have retailer ID, we have the invoice. So as you can see, this data, we can also normalize this data. So what is the definition of normalized data? So normalized data is one of the process of organize to minimize the data redundancy and the data redundancy and the duplication data to ensure that data need to be consistent, right? So that's why we need to create the first normal form, second normal form, and the third normal form. So at the moment, everything is fine. So I mean, maybe on the next video, I'm going to explain you how we can create some data modeling in Power BI, for example. So, and I'm going to show you how we can normalize the data by creating some star schema methodology, data warehouse, or maybe Snowflake schema methodology data warehouse as well. So yes, we can normalize the data as well. But in this case, I don't want to normalize the data. I just want to create a report dashboard. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here, and then here, I'm going to connect to my SQL server. I can go here, can go to the database, choose the SQL server here, click connect, and then provide the server name here as well. Where's my server? You can also come here and copy the server name here as well, and then come back here, then paste. Let's see, import. Go for the database, provide it as a password, and then click connect. Okay. So now we have server name to database CRM Salesforce. We can expand. We can also expand this one if you want to see. This is the team employee. This one and we can expand this one. This is my staging. So, and then what I want to do here, I need to click here, and then now we have all the data sets, all the data set with the column with the field, and we can go to transform. So, and this is perfect now. So this is all the data we have. I'm going to do some changing here. As you can see here in my invoice date, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click here, go to the data type here, and then choose the date. And here as well, that's fine. What about this one? That's fine as well. That's fine. And what about this one? That's fine. 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 It's okay. It's okay. Okay, that's fine. So what I can do, I can show you here. I can just show you how uh, we can, for example, transform the data. For example, if you want to create the calculation for the revenue, to create a calculation for the revenue here. So let me show you something here. To create a calculation for the revenue, right? So let us create a calculation for the revenue. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go to custom here. In the custom here, I'm going to give the date, give the name revenue. And then here, I'm going to I'm going to choose the price per unit, right? Uh, multiply. So the price per unit here, let me see, price per unit. And then bring here, then multiply by unit sold, this one, and then bring here and then click OK. And then as you can see, this is what I was going to show you right now. So this has been great, and you can go here to the data type, change to the decimal number or the whole number as well. And this is the record we have. So this is how we do the transformation. We can also, for example, we can also create some a primary key here. By click here, go here, and this is the new primary key, and rename the column and say okay, uh retailer retailer sell sk surrogate key, for example. So yeah, this is what, because this is auto incremental, right? And this is unique, so I don't want to show you right. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove this one as well. We can also go to the date and create maybe the month. So for example, let me show you the invoice date here. We can go here, let me show you quick. You can go here, add the column, go here, say go for the month, month name, and you can have the January, February here, and you can go here as well, and you see this is the month. We can also, yeah, this is the month as well. We can now, let me remove this. So this is how we do the transformation as well. And to normalize the data as well, we can say, okay, if you want to normalize the data, we right click here and we duplicate, right? And then here you can say, okay, I want to normalize and create a new table. Like you say, okay, gym date for gym, gym date, no, gym date, gym retailer, right? And then, to select the data that belong, I mean the column, the field that belong to the gym retailer, we need to come here, and then here we can go here, we say choose, and then unselect, and then select the field that belongs to gym retailer. So this just show you how you can do the transformation. Let me delete this one now. So now Let me go here. So now we are fine. So what I'm going to show you now is how we can create a handsome uh, uh, Power BI dashboard report. So let us click here, close and apply, and then yeah. So this is the graphic user interface where we create the report visualization. As you can see, this is the build visual and this is the visualization. This is the feature within that visualization, right? And here, this is the data view. So this is where we can view the data again, right? So, and then here, this is where you can view the model of the data. So this is where if you are implementing the data model where maybe the dimension table is connected with the fact table, or maybe one of the dimension table is connected to the dimension table. This is where you're going to see that diagram, or maybe the architecture of the diagram here. So now I'm going to go back here. So, and then we're going to start in the report. So in order to start the report here, first of all, this is where you can view the data here as well, the field, and you can select your field. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to insert and go to the, because I want to add some shape. So click here and add the shape here. And then here, I'm going, let me go here and then change the, let me go here first of all, and then also, so now I need to go here, reshape, need to go here and then change the color. So I want the color because it's so blue. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change, so because it's so blue, uh 7673, can choose this one and that's fine, and then can go to the not to the border. I need to enable this one on, that's fine, and then to the text here, I need to bring text on as well and give the text uh co color cell dash about, and then we can bring that to 13, that's fine, and then here can bring, I can bring here on the share because it's too close. Let me bring this one to 15 for the padding. That's fine now. And then so the bird, I need to select this one. So yeah, this is how that will look like. So now I'm gonna copy this one. So Control C and Control V, copy, then put this one here, and then paste again, and then bring this one here. Don't worry, I'm gonna change this name later, right? So now I'm gonna start in developing the report here. So let me bring this one here. Yeah, so I'm bring this one here as well. Just fine. So, or maybe in here. maybe here. So now let us say that for the QA feature, right? Let us say our clients or manager or business user or someone in the finance department will ask me to create a dashboard that will interactive, right? And in order to create that QA feature, what I'm gonna try to do right now, I'm gonna click on this one, and then once I click on this one, I can reduce the size. I think I can reduce the size. Let me bring this one here. Okay, let me do it now. So, and then here, let me go here. Yes. And then here we can say, I'm going to say, for example, uh, the number of region, right? The number of region, number of region, right? You can see this is the number of region 5, right? So this is where we can create, and then close this one. Let me change the color here. Go to shape and go to suggestion here, and then from here I need to change this color, the card, and go here. I'll change this one to orange. In order to change that to orange, I'm gonna say okay. I think it's a FF 8A00. I change to orange. Click yes, fine, and then yes, more better now. And then and say okay, because yes, yeah, the reason I'm changing this one to orange color because it's more visual, so the end user can see, can visualize very nicely. So let us say that the manager or team leader told us that we're having an issue with the operating profit and want us to try a way to improve it. So, for example, they say, okay, explain by beverage brand, okay, and to see the better that is I mean the beverage ban is better on or no. So in order to do that, we can click the key influencer here, or maybe go here and go back to the visualization, and here you have the key influencer. If I click to the key influencer here, I can drag that key influencer here. Let me bring down more. Let me bring up. And then here, what I'm going to do here, can go here now, can say, okay, if we can go for the pull tool and then choose the different one, and you can see here as well. We can also maybe click for the unique sold here, and you can see the key influencer, what influence unit sold to increase, or maybe that decrease as well. So and then here we can go here, let me select this one, we'll go for this one, and then we can go here and go to the analysis, and hmm, what is the problem here? So category continuous. So no, let me remove this one again, print this one again. Oh, let me come back here, come back here, come back here, come back here. Okay, let me take this one off and recreate this one. Come back here. Sorry for the inconvenience. And then you can click here, go here to this section, go to the car, and then the background, choose the orange here as well. And then that's fine. And then for that key influencer, click here, bring this one here, and then choose the total, and then beverage. Small bits of here. And then now we can expand here and we can see also the chart, right? We can see what has been increased. The beverage one is Coca-Cola, right? This is the best one. So we can go for the decrease as well. And you can see beverage one is Fanta, right? Has been decreased as well. And then, yeah, this is what we can do. We can go back to the report here and we can click here, go here, and then to the analysis, you can see, let me expand this one and see the content. See, okay, you can see the impact here as well. Close this. Okay, that's fine. Impact. You can come back here. And then this is how we can create that key influencer that will allow the business user to interpret and make that better decision and see what is the beverage brand that has been increased or that has been decreased as well and see the impact of that, so and make a decision. So yeah, and then now uh and then now and the manager, let me rename this one first. So for this one I can go back here, or maybe I can go for the shift here, go to the text here and rename this one. Say okay, let me rename this the operating profit profit analysis. This one now. Then here, let me make it more nice. And this one here. Then here. So let us say that our manager or someone in the sales department want to see the sell by state, and I will be able to use the feature, which is this one, the feature mapping or map, to show them uh, uh, the sell by state. So click here, for example, and bring this one down here, and from here we can we can so from here I can expand this one a little bit, and from here, so the first one I want to select here is let me click here, state. Okay, the state has been created. Create Um, Okay, so unit sold, or maybe we can select this one to see the sum of the total. So for each individual state, then let me now, I'm going to go to the map setting. On the map setting here, click on the control and go to the zoom button here. And as you can see, if you click here, this one will disappear. So this not. If you click here and we can zoom, as you can see here, we can zoom here as well. And then now what I'm going to show you for the bubble of, we can do the bubble like that, like this. So now go here to the bubble, that's fine, color, that's fine. So this is where we can zoom it. We can also add maybe city, we can remove that city, we can add this one as well, but for my case that's fine. We can zoom and we can, and then this is where we can also, what we can do here, we can remove this sum total cell by state. We can go to the general here and click here, and that will remove. So if you click here, that will come back, and this will click here, that has been disappeared. That's fine. And then now let me come on now, close this one. Okay, it's fine. And then now we can zoom. Okay, yes, now America, and we can rename this. Sure. And then say um, cell by state. Cell by state. Now let us say that the financial department want to see how the cell are, I mean, how all those cells are operating. And to do that, we need to use maybe a table. And if I click here, I can immediately, for example, click maybe the beverage here, for example, and you can see now the beverage brand for Coca-Cola, for Danzani Water, for Diet Coke, for Fanta, for Powerade, and for Sprite as well. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click maybe for unit sold. This is what the financial department want to see. The total sell, the price per unit, the operation profit, and the operation margin as well. As you can see now, it's more okay. Now what I'm gonna try to do, because this one is not so, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to remove the sum of units sold. So first of all, before I move this one, I need to bring this one as an average. And in order to do that, so let me select again. Let me start this one, make it more nice. I'm going to start with the total cell. and go to the unit sold and the price per unit, operating profit, and operating margin here. So now what I'm going to try to do for the unit sold, I'm going to bring that as an average. So in order to do that, we can click here and go to the average. It's fine. And for the operating margin, we can also click here and go to the average as well. That's fine. And here, what I'm going to try to do here, I'm going to try to rename this sum of total sale average of unit or unit sold and sum of price per unit. In order to do that, I can right click here, go to the rename for visual, and then in total, and then right click here for average and say average. And then this one, some uh, and then operating profit, so average margin. So it's more nice now. And then what I can do here, I click here, go. So I want to remove the dot 5 by clicking to specify the column here, and then specify column. So so total sale average unit price per unit, operating profile, average operating margin. So what I'm going to try to show you how we can put some uh, trend here. For example, if we go for the total sale, so we can click again here and then go here and go to the conditional formatting here and choose the data bar. And the data bar here, we can say, okay, let us go with let's say this one, the the FF800 for orange. Click, click OK, and then you can see the trend. You can see the Coca-Cola. We can also choose descending or ascending. You can make it more ascending or descending as well. So that's fine. We can also go for the average operating margin as well. We select here, go to conditional graph formatting, and here I can decide to choose maybe the, I want to say maybe this one, click OK. That's fine. We can also go for the profit. For the profit one, we can choose maybe the green profit here, conditional formatting data bar. And here we can say, okay, let's just choose this color and go for this one for green. We'll go for green. Click OK. Oh, it's not coming. It's green. It's not coming. Let's go for this one. Okay, this one. And then this one can go for per price per unit as well. Click here, go for conditional formatting data bar and choose maybe the and here for the average unit can choose and then this is how we can use this data. I mean, click here, go to the conditional formatting and go to the data bar and add some color for that. So now our manager want me to implementing the filter, especially we can he want that to filter by the date. So and in order to do that, if you click here for example and go here, let me go here and bring the filter feature slicer. Click here, come here, and then we can put this one here. On peut mettre ça ici. Et après, nous allons cliquer sur la date, invoice date, because we want to filter by invoice date. Lorsqu'on parle d'invoice, en français, ce sont les factures. Donc, ça, c'est la date de facturation, par exemple. So, this is the date that, the date that has been, this is the invoice date. So, if you click on the invoice date, we can see, and we can now, what we can do here, we can go here, go to the general, or here, let me not this one and choose the blue one as well, and then get this one. No, oh god, choose the blue one and division, go to the value and choose with the blank. So and then now you can see that it's more better. Let me go here as well. We put some Let me bring it to 15 compounding, and then what we can do here, we can bring here. And this is now where we can go and filter the report. We can filter report here. We can use this small icon here, for example. We can click here and then make our change. We can click here to go for the December 2021 or January 2022. You can also click here as well. So we can filter here as well. Let me show you. You can filter here and you can also filter here. So as you can see on my screen, this is how the report will interactive as well. If you click here, we can filter here. You can see how that. And now if we, for example, if someone come here and make a change, for example, maybe say, okay, I want to update maybe the uh, Costco, retailer Costco, update the retailer Costco with maybe brasserie. Where the date to deliver is equal to 21 and then update. So we can also put some filter here uh, for the uh, delivering company here. We can put a filter, for example, if I say, okay, let me put this filter here, let me click the filter, you see again, example, click here and create that filter, say, for the company. And this is the DHL, FedEx, UPS, UPSS. We can click here, that will return all the data just for the delivering company DHL as well. We can click for FedEx, click here, that will fit the data for FedEx. You see how the data is interact here as well. That has been changed. Click for UPS, as you can see UPSS. You can see here. This is DHL again. You can see. So we can also remove this filter as well. So this is how my report uh, uh, Power BI dashboard for Coca-Cola sell. So as you can see, this is the Coca-Cola sell dashboard. And this is where we can filter the report by date. So, and then this is where you can see the operating profit analysis, the key influence. This is where you can see the sell uh, by date, by state, pardon, by state. And this is the Coca-Cola dashboard. This is where we answer the question, we ask the question, for example, uh, number number of state, right? And then 48. And for example, number of region, you can have it number for G, number of company, delivery company as well, 4, right? So yeah, then we can. So this is how my Power BI report dashboard will look like. So yes, thank you a lot. Thank you for this video. We can here now we can rename the report here. For example, say uh, uh, cell report, and then we can duplicate. Let me cell report And what we can also do, we can right click here and duplicate the report as well. So, right, we can say, okay, this one is my, you can say, okay, uh, uh, dev report, and this one is the prod, for example. So we can also, let me delete this page so we can duplicate the page. And once your report has been created, what you're supposed to do, I would suggest you to populate this report in the Power BI services, right? And in order to populate this report in the Power BI services, one thing you have to do, you have to save your report, for example. And if you have a new data, for example, if you in the SQL server here, someone has make a change, or maybe someone have update, or maybe add the new data in this table, what you have to do in order to visualize those records, those data, you need to come here and refresh the report. If I click here, see, you refresh the report. And once the report has been refreshed, what you can do, you can save your report and you can publish your report here. So this is where we publish the report in the Power BI services, and this allow you to share your report with uh, with someone in the same organization or maybe outside the organization. So you can share the report with your manager, you can share the report with your colleagues, you can share the report with the team leader as well. So if I click here and then that will ask you to save your report, you can save your report here. I'm going to say, okay, sell Raul uh, Power BI, and then click save. And then now once the report, you see that will request your email. So because I do not, so if I say Camden Modric at yahoo.fr, I don't have the Power BI uh, services connection. So if you click here and then you see, and if you click here, for example, it continues. I don't have the Power BI services connection. That's why. So you see, enable to sign in. So yes, the Power BI services is not a free version. Is you have to pay for that, and I don't have the services. However, I do use the Power BI services in the organization production environment to publish my report. So once the report has been developed or has been update uh, based on the Power BI desktop. Now, what you can do, you can save your report and you can uh, publish the report in the Power BI services. And once your report has been uh, saved, what you can do, you can uh, you can get that a Power BI report file and put it on the SharePoint, because putting it on the SharePoint, this is where uh, all the business user in the BI team can go and access, right, the report as well. So you can also put it on the share folder network as well, where all your colleagues in the BI team can go and copy, I mean, and access the Power BI report as well. So yes, this is how we create a handsome a Power BI dashboard report for Coca-Cola Cell. So I'm trying to, I mean, this is just a basic. So yeah, this is how you implementing this kind of dashboard, and it's more, yeah, it's easy to understand. So, like I said, Power BI is a powerful tool, and and 97% of Fortunate 500 company in the world use Power BI. Even those the uh, even those the small company uh, also use the Power BI to uh, create their report, to visualize their reporting as well, and interpreting the data and make a better decision. So this is how we create uh, uh, a Power BI dashboard report. So yes, so you can also, and then this one as well. And you can, if you want to transform your data as well, what you can do, you can just click here and go to the transform data, and you can see how we can transform the data here. I think at the beginning I show you how you can transform the data, just a basic. But in my next video, I'm going to show you how we can create a a data model in the Power BI, especially in the Power Query. I'm going to show you how we can create also the dim date dimension in the Power Query as well, especially to create that um, dim date dimension. What you have to do, you have to come here and go to the blind query as well. So yes, this is how we use Power BI. We can also integrate in Power BI with the SQL Server analysis services. So for example, this is, I'm going to show you this report. Let me show you this report. Let me show you one of the reports. For example, this report here. This report is one of the reports that is relating to the a tabular model in the SSIS project. So I've created my tabular project report and deployed this report in the SQL Server analysis services. And from that SQL analysis services, I also connect to my uh, uh, Power BI desktop. So uh, yeah, this is how we use Power BI. So if you do not have Power BI, you need to install the Power BI. We can also use Power BI, sorry, in Microsoft Azure. So for example, if you can go here, as you can see, this is the Azure Synapse Analytics, or maybe we can inject the data from the on-prem SQL server, transform those data as a packet file, for example, and load that data into the data lake generation tool. And then from there, we can read uh, the packet file uh, with Microsoft Azure Analytics, especially serverless SQL pools, or maybe dedicating database SQL pools as well. Uh, Or maybe we can also, in the Azure Analytics, we can Synapse Analytics, we can also create some Lake database or Lake data warehouse as well. We can integrate the Power BI with uh, Microsoft Synapse, Azure Synapse Analytics as well. So yes, thank you, bye.